its pleasures did tempt me to stray. I saw not the danger that lurked on the way. The toils closed around me, I knew no release, but Jesus has found me and given me his peace. Get right with God, his pardon is free. Get right with God, he's waiting for thee. Our Jesus is calling, oh come unto me. Take him, O sinner, and get right with God.
Hello, hello. Hope all is well. Well, I just want impressed to share with us the importance of looking at the examples of Christ when he looked to the needs of others, those who may be hurting and who are in need. He always thought about alleviating the suffering of other people. And as I look at my own personal life and I say, I'm a Christian and I'm following you, Lord, I desire to follow you, Lord. But how often do we seek to follow in those footsteps? He did more teaching and healing than he did preaching. And so, just to share with you what transpired is that I was always asking God, Lord, give me divine appointments. How can I help somebody today? How can I help relieve a suffering from somebody today or help somebody today? Of course, apart from helping and ministering to my son, it's also important to teach him and show him how we can help others who are in need. One of the testimonies I'd like to share with you of that prayer that I did ask for is that there was this particular elderly man who was always looking for a ride, and he always would walk that journey, and it would be too. As I'm driving, it would be too quick for me to even stop because I see him on and off when I'm passing by. And what I said, Lord, I keep missing the opportunity, but one day, Lord, if you see, um, if you allow me to see him again, Lord, so I can minister onto this person, give me that opportunity that it may help him get a ride. And so, lo and behold, he answered that prayer. And I pulled over as I was coming from the grocery. I saw him again, and I pulled over. And he saw that I pulled over with my flasher lights on to let him know to come in. Now, anybody would think, oh, well, as a woman, no way. I'm not going to do that, right? But I asked God and I prayed, and that's where trust and faith comes in, and also discernment. And so Christ had discernment when he ministered to the people who are in need. He didn't turn anyone away. So, anyways, I picked him up, we talked, and so forth. And he was simply shy, quiet. He just wanted to get to his destination, not too far from where we are anyway. Because I see him in the village here all the time. And so finally, when I dropped him off, I said, hey, I have a gift for you. And he gladly took the gift, the Great Controversy. And I shared with him that these are all about the current events that are happening, what will happen in the future, that there's hope beyond this life. And so he smiled. Of course, we were speaking in French. He smiled, he thanked me, and I said, okay, God bless you, as he was leaving. And he says, I am blessed. He smiled and he just walked away. And so um, the, the Bible says in Hebrews 13, verse 2, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Furthermore, we often, when somebody comes to us, hey, I need your prayers, we'll say, oh, okay, I'll pray for you, right? I'll pray for you. But how do you know if you could be that vessel and key to that answered prayer for that person? God could place you in that person's path, and God could provide you the means, whether it's you're a medical missionary, you can help somebody for healing, or if it's emotional, healing they need, or if it's financial, or they need food to eat, or just a good word of encouragement. What if you could be that very vessel that the person came to you with, right? We tend to forget that. And it's easy to just brush up and say, yeah, I'll pray for you. But how many of us actually prayed for that person with sweat and tears and call that person and follow up with that person? Tell me, any news? What's going on? And how's everything? How often do we do that, friends, as Christians? Also in Isaiah 58, I want to share with you this promise. This is from the Lord himself. He says from verse 6, it says, Isaiah 58, is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke? Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that cast out to thy house? When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thy own flesh? Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thy health shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of the Lord shall be thy reward. Then thou shalt call, and the Lord shall answer. And thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, the putting forth of the finger, and speaking vanity, and if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness as the noonday. And the Lord shall guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in drought, and make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water, whose waters fail not. Okay? And so this is clear, friends. When we seek to bless others with our means, with our time, with our vehicle, with whatever the situation is that God would have placed in your path, he says clearly that our health shall spring forth, will be healed quickly. If you are sick, you'll be healed quickly. He also says in verse 8 that our righteousness shall go before us. Righteousness is right doing. And it says the glory of the Lord shall be thy reward. The glory is the character. You know, Revelation 14 says, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. His character will be our character, friends. And it says in verse 9, then thou shalt call, and the Lord shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. So not only that, he'll answer our own prayers, friends. If we seek to put self behind and put others before us first, even if it's an inconvenience for us, I drove a little bit out of my way to drop this man off. This is not to glory in what I did. This is nothing to actually, I'm not trying to boast of anything, because who am I? I just only obeyed his voice. I just simply obeyed what God said to help this man, and that was it. So my encouragement, friends, stay faithful to God. Seek to be a blessing to others. Ask God, Lord, what would you have me to do today? How would you have me to bless someone today? So along with spending time in his word, praying, fasting, if you will, and seeking to be about our Father's business and helping others in need, there'll be no room for gossiping. There'll be no room for idleness or needless things, right? It's all about making others happy and helping others who are in need. All right, friends. So hope you were encouraged. Be blessed, and continue to pray for one another. Pray for those who are in need, and seek to be that vessel to bless that person, whether it's a captive free, whether it's sin, captivity of sin, or prison, or whatever, whether it's the blind, those who are blind to the truth, or physical blind, whatever ailment, seek to be that blessing. All right. God bless, and bye for now.
Get right with God. His pardon is free. Get right with God. He's waiting for thee. Our Jesus is calling. Oh, come unto me. Take him, O sin.